so sexy.
Church!
What is
Let the
this?
band play.
Look at that. He's doing just fine.
I'm about to snatch you pussies up like a...
And like we were saying, folks, when we opened up the show, we have a very special guest that we are going to bring on. It is the gentleman that started the movement out there in California. And what are we calling him?
We can call him the guy that runs the faction.
Okay, the guy that runs the faction. He's out there on the west coast. And let me see if I can definitely bring you in on sound. I have to work on the video, but welcome to Smith Radio.
Can you hear
How's
us?
it going? Yeah, I can see you guys.
Oh, good. Right now, you're not on video, which is probably a good thing. Did you want to be on video or no?
You can put me on. That's
Okay.
fine.
Almost all of your face is available on the Twitter profile, except for your eyes. So how's it going? So you say you run the faction. Is there a lot of people in this group of artists?
You know, we've got a few of us. There's as far as I know, there's only about 4 street art outfits that lean to the right. You've got, the original, which is Unsavory Agents, Sabo, who's a good friend of mine. You've got another one out in Australia called Lush Sucks. I don't know him, but his paintings are pretty good. There's another one who's an ally of us. They're very low key. They're called Art Wing Conspiracy, and then you've got us, the faction. So, out of the 4 entities that I know of in the world, I think 3 of them are in LA. So it's kind of ironic.
No, I had no idea. Had absolutely no idea. Now, I lived out there in Long Beach for about 10 years. That's where I met my wife, and we had kids. We came back here to Cincinnati, where I was originally from, just because we could buy a house. But,
yeah, it's you need about $1 million to start out here to be in a decent neighborhood. So it's pretty ridiculous.
That, and we were having problems with the homeless using our driveway and our back part of our house, or our apartment, as a bathroom and living quarters.
Oh gosh,
it was pretty rough out there. But and I saw
that seems to be the common thing in liberal enclaves now, is homelessness and dumps on the ground and everything.
Yeah, we're here in Cincinnati, and we had a little bit of that issue ourselves. Just as recently, they're trying to move people out of the city where the public can use public property. Obviously, a problem in San Francisco too. So, have you been doing political art? I know your Twitter handle, which by the way is the Faction 1776. For all of you guys, make sure you are following the Faction. And have you been doing political based art or just art in general? Is this something like, what inspired you?
Most of what we do has to do with culture and politics. We're not out there just to put up pretty pictures. We're out there to change people's minds. To give people the truth. I think the same reason you guys do what you're doing. The mainstream media lies a lot. They spin it. It's full blown propaganda these days. So we want to make people think and kind of hack culture and go outside the channels of the status quo. There's a lot of quote unquote useful idiots out there. Right?
Yes.
We're trying to wake them up.
I'm really glad you're doing it in the form of art, because I don't know if you noticed this, and you being an artist, I kind of wonder what your take is on this, since I'm more of that right brain type person. It seems to me like the people who have real talent in art tend to somehow end up leaning to the left and being left-wingers. I guess you see that a lot. Like you said, there's only 4 right-leaning art groups that you even know of. So it's actually a good thing.
I think it's a temperament issue. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about this, that, people on the right tend to be conscientious and disagreeable, and people on the left tend to be a little more neurotic and agreeable. And that temperament leads to where you're kind of emotional. You think abstractly, right? It's the accountants that are conservative that run the businesses. The liberals come up with the ideas, but the accountants keep it running. So I understand why liberals get into the arts. Most engineers are probably right wing, and most
singers,
singers are left leaning. So I think it's just kind of a temperament thing, but at the same time, in this day and age, people that do lean right, that work in the arts, they're basically quiet now because it's so polarized. They don't want to be shut down or fired from their jobs.
Right, and the most famous one, James Woods on Twitter, who verbally said, "I know that this is going to kill my career, but I'm all in on Trump."
Right. So have you been all in on Trump from day one? Or have you been conservative for a long time?
Well, look, I was never red pilled. I mean, I grew up being conservative. You know, I was just from a young age. I kind of looked at the world through a lens of just. I basically realized when I was older that from the time I was a kid, I put everything in order of like the Socratic method before I even knew what it was. It was just logic driven, like deductive reasoning. And I think because of that, and I grew up, you know, in a household where it's like you don't blame anyone for anything, you own everything, you know, kind of old school values. I just was right from the beginning.
Personal responsibility. And I've seen,
Absolutely.
And I've seen that a lot in some of my run-ins, whether it be at work or out and about. The lack of personal responsibility, and that's something I had. I'm not saying that it just happened to me. For those of you who know me, I was a victim of society for many, many, many years. And once you shed that victimhood and you take personal responsibility for yourself, things really change.
Right. So we're talking to the Faction 1776. Are you now? Did you create it yourself, or was it like a group effort?
Well, I have some close friends who are, part of the crew with me. Okay. And, we spitball ideas back and forth all the time. And you have to, it's hard because you have to hit it at the right time with the media cycle.
You hit it so quick. You hit it so quick because not only the breaking up of the Star, but then the liberal nutcase, is that WeHo or is that Hollywood? Is that West Hollywood or Hollywood?
It's not. It's actually Hollywood. I'm not sure why West Hollywood was getting involved in it. I mean, I don't have a map in front of me, but I know where West Hollywood is,
and that's pretty far.
I don't think it's where the Walk of Fame is.
No. It's in Hollywood. But as soon as the city council talked about removing Donald Trump's star, and somebody made a comment to me, well, they got to pay all this money to maintain it, and whatever.
They wouldn't pay so much if people weren't destroying it. It's just insane.
But then you hit it within 48 hours of that?
Yeah. For this stuff, you have to assemble quick and get out there and do it because it's going to run out of the news cycle, and people will be looking at the next thing, right? They're like magpies, shiny, and they walk over to that.
Right.
So, but to answer your question about, Trump and conservatism, I mean, I've always been a conservative. I'm basically like 95% libertarian. I'm not an isolationist, but I'm straight edge. I don't drink or smoke, but I think drugs should be legal. I think that individuals best know how to run their life. I don't like the state really. And I actually didn't vote for Trump. I was kind of along like the Ben Shapiro camp where I was worried that he would damage the party. I wasn't sure. But I'm glad he won. And every day I'm really glad he won, and I like what he's doing.
Right. Sometimes I think that Ben Shapiro is doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down because he really doesn't want to have to say, guys, I was wrong. It's like too hard for him. So now he's just trying to figure out how to post facto be able to come out saying, you see, you should have listened to me the whole time. So it's probably good. I have a lot of respect for you to be able to say that at this point.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about Ben. I mean, I hope that's not the case because we hold him up as like an avatar of intellectual consistency.
Right.
So I hope that isn't the case.
It just seems like it to people like us because it's like, come on, there's so much good coming out of it, and I don't know. That's just my opinion.
He does. I don't watch him every day, but he does the whole good Trump, bad Trump thing. So he does call him out when he's good and bad, but the whole never Trumper thing, I mean, he might really be doubling down on that. I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, he had, there was something that kind of that fell through the cracks that people didn't see was Dennis Prager has a thing called Fireside Chat.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube, and he had Ben Shapiro on there, and he openly asked Ben, "Are you glad that he got elected?" And he said, "Yes."
I would be surprised if he said that he would have rather Hillary got elected. Right. So
okay, so the Trump stars, all the stars. Someone had reported there were 50 stars. Did you do 50? What was the number?
We did. I think I made about 50. I think I put them all out there. Some got damaged. It was kind of hectic doing it.
Well, they're made out of vinyl, so the being damaged is kind of like
Well, it's actually I printed them on a special like floor floor material that's made for walking on.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah, so they're actually stuck on there. I mean, and they work well. If they would have been left there, they would have lasted for a long time. Inks and adhesives and vinyls are really good these days.
Mm-hmm.
So the technology is really pushing forward. So no, it actually would have stayed there for a long time, but people didn't like it and they ripped it up. I didn't think they would last very long.
I don't know if
But I think we did between maybe 40 or 30 or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you've ever really stopped and thought about this, or if this was actually a part of your creative process. But when this was going on, when they were destroying the stars, it was something that nobody could figure out what to do about, and so we just kind of chalked it up as, well, it's just a piece of concrete, and it's them destroying their own stuff, so whatever. And for you to come and do this particular thing in response to it was like such a rallying point for every Trump supporter across the nation. And was that something that were you brainstorming a lot of different ideas on how to deal with this, or was it just like a eureka moment? I mean, I'm just amazed at it could not have been a better response.
It's contrary to what the left will have you believe. Not all conservatives are racist and greedy and homophobic and bigoted. So, look, I'm definitely an alpha and a type A personality, but ultimately I'm reasonable and I have empathy, right? And I think based on Stoic values. And I want to show the country that there's people out there that think like they do, that not everyone's an idiot, right? Not everyone is racist or rude or not every Trump supporter is a jerk. So I went out there and basically did something that was respectful. I didn't damage anyone's property. I didn't harm anyone. I would never paint on someone's property. I believe in individual property rights, right? I would never, anytime we do street art, we always make it a point to everything can be removed very easily. We don't leave anything behind.
That's unique out there in LA, because it seems like every damn thing's painted up. Everything's tagged. Like I had a shop in South Central out there in Southgate at one time, and I would call the cops because places get painted up, get tagged up, and the cops would argue with me on the phone. And finally, one said, "What do you rather me do? Hunt down some kid with paint, or solve these murders?" I was like,
point.
"Oh man!" And so, and you know how the cops are in LA. They're nowhere to be found. There's not many of them. They need more. If you want to be a cop and you want to get paid well, I think the starting wage like $60,000 to be a cop in LA. But be ready that the police chief will throw you under the bus along with the mayor.
Yeah, I'm all about more law enforcement, especially in poor and minority neighborhoods. They need more law enforcement. Black Lives Matter wants less. We need more. Those people need it.
Amen.
I'm looking at your Twitter handle, right, or actually the Twitter page, and your profile has you with blood on your hand and face. Can you explain that one? That was my first question when I went to your page.
That was after a few hours of fighting Antifa at Berkeley last year, April 15th.
No way!
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I was there for that. A bunch of my friends went up from LA. And, we went there to stand in solidarity with other people that believed in free speech. We had liberals on our sides, right? Conservatives, just regular boomers, everyone. There was gays, straights, trannies on our side, and Antifa wasn't having it. They showed up and they were throwing bricks and pepper spray and, explosives and batteries and stabbing people. And
oh my goodness.
Now I don't know if you've heard
fighting all day.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't know if you've heard Dinesh D'Souza's new movie out, Death of a Nation.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so, then if you've seen the movie, where fascism rises from Democrats, socialists, and their tactics, what they do, they cover their faces up, wear all black. I think he was saying Mussolini's black shirts look just like Antifa now and respond just like Antifa.
It's the left that always wants to group people together, right? They bundle them together into groups, and that's how they view people. The word fascist, it means a bundle of sticks, right? Like one stick is weak, but when you bundle them together, then they're strong. That's it's basically communism, and I've been privy to the truth about the left and the history for a long time about fascism and Nazism and socialism. And these are all left-wing ideologies. It's I'm glad that Dinesh is coming out and telling us the truth.
Right.
Especially to the mainstream.
And
they need to know.
We're absolutely glad that you're doing what you're doing. A couple things. Did you pick the spot for these stars? I think I may be wrong about this, but the video that I'm seeing shows stars put around the Kevin Spacey star. Is that true?
Well, the Kevin Spacey star is right next to Trump.
Oh,
so
okay.
we did some next to it, but it was covered up by fences. The ones that we really went after we went around Jimmy Kimmel because he's not a fan of Trump, right? we went around the director Rob Reiner,
Yeah,
right?
I saw
Meathead from All in the Family. So
Still,
we decided
still a
to surround
meathead.
him. Yeah, still Meathead, you know. And we did some around a couple other lefties. I'm not sure, but it was just all tongue in cheek. It was all fun and good humor. You know, we're not trying to hurt anyone. We're just trying to make people think. It's basically, you know, it's kind of like comedy trolling. It's art.
Yes.
You know,
No, trolling. I think trolling, you know, I have a lot of friends, some of whom are dedicating their lives to using their trolling skills to further the, conservatism, libertarianism, the Trump movement. And I think it's great. It seems like you're a perfect fit in that whole group. One thing, so this costs money. And
yeah.
You know, I can imagine this nice floor outdoor, walkable floor quality, the adhesive, all this kind of stuff. Plus, it's big. It's the size of a whole sidewalk slab, I guess you could say. So I came up with this idea that I thought I'd run by you and see. We have these things here in Cincinnati where if you do a fundraiser for like a big patio, you can buy a brick and it would have inscribed on it, whatever you wanted on it, and then that brick would be part of the patio, and it could be a big fundraiser. I was thinking we could do Donald Trump stars, maybe down in the corner, have somebody who sponsored that star have a little, maybe their name or a little inscription dedicated to my mom or whatever, and have them be able to pay for the price of that star, or maybe they could just pay outright for just a blank Donald Trump star for you guys to put down. Have you thought about ideas like that?
You know, I liked it. That's a good idea. You know, I've thought about, sometimes we'll take over billboards in the middle of the night, and unauthorized, obviously. We don't damage anything. But I've often been thinking about actually just crowdfunding and buying out billboards and just getting our message out there the right way. Because the left, they own the media, so why not just pay for it and try to get something on the street? So I like the way you're thinking. I've been thinking that way a bit too.
That billboard on the 710 northbound that comes into downtown LA, it's off to the right. It's huge, enormous. There was a cardboard factory or whatever underneath it that caught fire one year and burnt that thing down, but it's still there. The billboards.
I remember.
I called him to ask him the cost. I was thinking big, and he said that if you pay for it in advance, I give you a deal. I said, all right, what's the deal? I think he said like 3 to 6 months was like $8,000 a month.
Per month.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
$8,000.
That's a lot, but we could get the message out there. Some people in Texas put up a, get out of here liberals billboard. I saw that. But it's we're not trying to tell people to go home. We're not trying to silence the left. We're trying to just kind of showcase their hypocrisy, point out that no, he is your president. He's our president. and regardless of how many tantrums you throw or how much you want to bring up Russia or bots or Stormy Daniels, like he's here, it's them wanting him to fail is ridiculous. It's like wanting your knee surgeon to mess up on your knee because you don't like him.
Right,
like,
that was Bill Maher said we got to destroy this economy so we can get rid of Donald Trump.
Oh, that's so bad.
that to me was vile because when recessions happen, people go into massive depression. There's murder, suicides.
Well, alcohol use, drug use. I mean, everything. Medication. From your doctor, all that usage goes up, and it's not good for anybody.
Well, we started this.
I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. I don't want even people I disagree with. I don't want people on the left, even communists. Right. I don't want them harmed or on the street. I want them to change their mind. I want to persuade them with better ideas and empathy and reason. In this day and age, everyone's getting pushed to the fringes. If you think the wrong thing, they want to silence you and shut you down and put you on the edge of society. Like that's no way to get people on your team.
Right.
You know, it's not the right way to do it.
And then you would agree then that it seems like proper right-wing arguments always defeat the left-wing counterpart to that argument. And you're doing it through art, which I think is that's just like another tier of, you know, combating fake news and bad arguments and leftism as a whole. And I think that that's really good. Real quick, because I wanted to get this earlier, and now we're going to get it now. You have paypal.me/thefaction1776 as one of the ways that people can fund you. Is there another way, or is that it?
No, it's just what is it? Is it paypal.me
Yes.
the faction 1776, and then also, you know, Milo Yiannopoulos is a good friend of mine. You know, he was involved in this a bit.
Really?
So
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a good friend, and you know, he runs in the same circles as all of us. He's a great guy, and we actually collabed on this, and we're actually selling the stars, the same one I put on the boardwalk. You can buy exact versions of that in the same material.
Cool.
Just go to it's on his store. It's at dangerous.com/star.
All
That's
right.
it. It's easy to remember. And on Monday, we're actually going to be coming out with some smaller versions, like a 12-inch, a 5-inch, and like a 2-inch for cell phones.
So I can do my entire kitchen floor then.
You could do the hood of your car so your windows could get broken.
Yeah.
You could do your house so it gets lit on fire.
Oh, so if you have a neighbor that you don't like, put one of those stars on their house.
Okay, I can see that.
I've never thought of that. It's a good point. But yeah, Milo's we collabed on it, you know, and we're on the same page with ideology.
So he has the website name Dangerous?
Yeah, Milo's website, his entity is dangerous.com.
Okay, so if you go to dangerous.com is where you can buy these.
Yeah, you know, he got kind of blackballed when people made lies about him when he was on the Drunk Peasants podcast, and kind of got pushed to the sidelines, but he's still out there fighting the fight, working hard. He's got a podcast you can subscribe monthly to, a video podcast. You know, he's still quite involved fighting the fight.
I heard he's traveling right now, which is why he's been kind of quiet on the home front as far as like we haven't heard a lot from him lately, but I heard he's doing some tour overseas. So I think he's going to be touring in Australia, doing some talks. But at the same time, he has like the whole legitimate business of Dangerous. He's got, you know, it's a publication where they're putting out articles, so he's got payroll and employees and everything. But you know, he's behind the scenes, still working hard, fighting the left. You know, he's taking a little bit of a quiet role, but I think he's on his way, kind of getting back out into the limelight.
Nice. And I know that if you go to gab.ai, he moved over there right away and started.
Yeah, I think he's on Gab. You know, he has a pretty big presence on Instagram as well.
Oh, okay.
And you know, so I think the best place to get a hold of him is he's got his video podcast. Instagram's pretty good, and then you know, maybe Gab too. Yeah.
We have some commenters. One of them's pointing out, you know, send artists to Portland. So that brings up an interesting question. Are you planning on going anywhere outside of LA?
I was actually in Portland a couple of weeks ago when they had those big riots. Now, luckily it was peaceful. You know, Antifa were causing problems. They didn't have a permit, and the cops, you know, shot flashbangs at them when they took off. But when our side was asked to leave, we said okay. And we just left peacefully. That's how we do it.
What about art? Could you plan on doing anti-PC troll art all over the country?
Well, look, I'll do art wherever it's needed. There's no city that's off limits. You know, it has to be done in good taste and it has to be relevant, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we've done stuff in Berkeley and in Frisco. You know, some of the guys I mentioned before have done stuff. You know, I've done stuff in New York a bit. You know, friends have done stuff in DC. A lot of it doesn't hit the real big mainstream. It kind of hits only the conservative side of the media. But this one was able to transcend and make the crossover.
Right.
You know,
I think the more we do stuff, the more it's going to cross over because they're silencing us, right? Like the other day, they canceled Gavin McInnes's account and all the Proud Boys and Alex Jones. And they're going full 1984. They're silencing people. So we're really going to have to step up and start creating content.
It might come to be where you're the only outlet for this kind of messaging. If they keep on silencing us on these really big mainstream platforms, all of a sudden everything will be underground. And that's your 1984 right there.
No, absolutely. And just to give you folks a heads up, something like this, if you are out there trying to do something, I mean, we were out there for years and years and years doing the show. all nothing but audio, and then this year we were able to get into video, and now it's starting to grow and grow and grow. And just like the faction, this didn't come overnight. The hard work, the artist,
with it.
The things that you think about, the brainstorming that you do, and then all of a sudden, like some of the shows that we've done, some great shows years and years ago, I'm like, oh, this is the biggest, and nobody hears it. So if you're out there
never know.
Fighting the good fight, stay with it. Good things will eventually come out, just like this. And I'm super stoked about having you out there, having you part of the show today. We got you now. I've had your handle on Twitter up here the whole time you've been on. So folks, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
The Faction 1776. And has this, now I'm looking at your followers, you're cresting on 16,000 followers. Is that new, or have you had a?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, okay.
Because I thought I was there a little bit last week, and I don't remember it being that high.
Yeah, you're getting up there.
No, it wasn't. I think before I did this hit, I was at like a measly 3,400.
Oh, this is a good hit. Good hit.
It took me 15 months to build up that. I mean, we're talking. I earned those like nickel and dime, 2 a day, working it. And this thing got traction, and overnight it went from about 3,400 to basically 15,000. And it's great. I mean, people have sent me, donations over PayPal. I mean, it's
they
humbling.
should. They should.
I had people messaging me. This lady messaged me, and she says, I'm on a fixed income. I don't have a lot of money, but here's $10.
Man,
and it's like, no, but it's like I got emotional when she sent that, because there's people that don't have a lot to give, and they give that right there to me means more than someone giving me, a rich guy giving me $1 million, because
the percentage, the percentage of what they have. And she's
that matters,
right?
Like,
and it matters to her too. I'll tell you, these people that send $1, they're doing something. Yeah, they're doing something. And I would take 1,000 people at $1 a piece any day. Right. So hopefully we get people to get to the paypal.me/thefaction1776. You can buy.
All the people, I want to say all the people who donated to me. I mean, it means the world. Thank you. I can't express it enough. It doesn't matter how small it is. Most of the donations are really small, and that's okay.
Right.
Like it all adds up. I don't care if it's 50 cents.
Yeah, and we absolutely thank them too. It matters. Yeah, we thank everybody that supports you, the Faction 1776. Also, don't forget, dangerous.com is where you're going to find the stars that you could purchase yourself, right? And
it's dangerous.com/star. So we have the 36-inch ones, which are the replicas of the boardwalk. And then on Monday, we'll have 12-inch, 5-inch, and 2-inch. So those are good for the back of your truck, the back of your MacBook Pro, your cell phone case, And I think we might actually drop. I'm thinking about maybe doing like some hats, hats that have it embroidered on the front. So I want to get the merch into the hands of people that want it. I'm a capitalist through and through.
That'd be cool.
And, if it's if they're happy to do it and it can support our cause, right, it's win-win. So it's really awesome.
We'll try and set something up on our website, smithradio.com, to link back to that, try and help you guys out. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, just love it. Dude, I'm telling you what, man, when Carrie texted me earlier this week, you're like, man, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, no, I don't believe it.
Hey, we got to do it.
I really appreciate you guys bringing me on, man. It means a lot.
All right, well, stay in touch and be safe out there.
Absolutely, folks. Like and share everywhere. I'll also rebroadcast the show on Facebook. Are you on Facebook at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right.
Wow. I will be. I'm on Instagram. It's the same thing. The Faction 1776.
Okay.
And what I'll end up doing is I'm going to create a Facebook profile to deal with all this, and I'll link it on Twitter and Instagram, so people on Facebook can get in touch.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, and we will be talking to you soon.
Yeah. I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop on anything we have coming up, man. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Care.
Take care, man.
Awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so we have the Faction 1776. Make sure you guys support him. And on with the show. Awesome.
Men at work. So sexy.
Church!
What is
Let
this?
the band play.
Look at that. He's doing just fine.
I'm about to snatch you pussies up like I'm Donald Trump. I stay rolling with them crackers like I'm Donald Trump. Surrounded by their bitches like I'm Donald Trump. And I'm always winning like I'm Donald Trump.
About to embarrass you, Jimmy Kimmel.
So fuck it, I'll say it, throw Hillary Clinton up in the slammer. Cause we roll with Donald Trump and making America better. I'm about to snatch you pussies up like I'm Donald Trump.
Next round.
I stay rolling with them crackers like I'm Donald Trump. Surrounded by their bitches like I'm Donald Trump. And I'm always winning like I'm Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.